Welcome back, everyone. So before you, we have our second deck that we're playing for Zero to East today. Our first deck went 1 and 3 and was kind of quick, only about an hour or so for the stream. So and that was kind of unfortunate. But this one I have a little bit of hopes for in sort of a different sense. The last one I know that it's definitely kind of a meme. This one at least has some people that have talked about it in the past. It's a deck archetype that's been around for a while, but just not really in Modern. And so we're trying to make it work in Modern. So essentially this is MIracle Gro. And if you've never heard of MIracle Gro, it's basically playing creatures like this. So Deeproot Champion, Quirion Dryad, those are the two main ones. Basically, whenever you play a spell that's not a creature, these get a +1/+1 counter. So this deck kind of sets up a lot like Infect, except it's not... obviously, it's not Infect, but your creatures stay at big once you kind of like play spells and stuff, and all of your spells kind of pump things. So like an Opt or a Remand or a Serum Visions or Slip Through Space or Stubborn Analysis, so, you know, all these spells will pump all of these creatures, with the exception of Mutagenic Growth and Blossoming Defense don't pump Dryad, just because she only says basically non-green spells. But specifically, she does say white, blue, black, or red spells give her a counter. So things that are like blue-green, like Voidslime in the sideboard, that does count. It does pump her. And then like Deeproot Champion is whenever you cast a non-creature spell. So the other Dryads and the Hooting Mandrills don't do anything, but all the other spells in the deck do. Our land base is a little all over the place. Hopefully it works out. I kind of cut a couple of the... Like, we had 4 breeding pools, obviously, in the last version. We didn't have red, so I cut a couple of those, added a Stomping Ground and a Steam Vents, and then we cut a couple of the Botanical Sanctums, and we added a Copperline Gorge and a Rootbound Crag, or a Spirebluff Canal, and we cut one of the Hinterland Harbors for a Rootbound Crag. And so... the deck itself kind of sits on like 17 lands, and 17 lands seems to be pretty good with it. It's got a lot of cantrips. A lot of its spells are really cheap, so 17 seems to work out pretty well. We have 3 Hooting Mandrills. Last week we played with, what's the name of that card? Mana Gorger Hydra, which is essentially the same as these. It's whenever anyone casts a spell, it gets a 1/1 counter, and it has Trample. But the biggest problem is that it was 3 mana, which is a really big hindrance for the card. You kind of wanted 2 mana for your creatures, so it just really sucked. We kind of wanted Trample with a spell of ours, so we have 2 Temur Battle Rage this time around, which is pretty sweet. We have Slip Through Space. We have an extra Slip Through Space just to like give our creature unblockable. And then on the sideboard, we added Pyromancers or Young Pyromancers. Basically, we had Snapcaster Mages there last time, and they just like really sucked. But otherwise, the sideboard kind of remains unchanged outside of that. I just basically took 4 Snappies out, put 4 Young Pyromancers in. And we're going to run this through a league, a friendly Modern league, and I'm pretty excited for this. This deck is something that I was working on for a while, and I was really excited to finally try it on stream. We tried it last Wednesday, I believe, and we did okay with it. I think we went like 2-3. So this might actually just be pretty easy just for us to continue doing okay with. So hopefully it's not just a crap fest of a game here. Okay, Forest, like the basics in this deck are not cards you want really, and like only having 1 mana really kind of sucks when we have a bunch of creatures. This one is fine. If we find a second land for the Deeproot Champion that isn't Steam Vents, basically, we should be in Leyline. Sure. This is Bogles? No, this is something else. Oh, this could still be Bogles, I guess. Yeah, so one thing that changes this deck a lot is... yeah, this is Bogles. One thing that kind of changes about this deck that's a little bit different comparatively to others is that a lot of the time you actually want to keep your creatures, or keep your cantrips in your hand so that when you have a creature in play you can pump it up. But Core Spirit Dancer, sure. So they could do double spell next turn. If they've got like 1 mana enchantment Daybreak Coronet, I want to be able to repeal it to get rid of the Daybreak Coronet, so I'm actually not going to play a creature this turn. As much as I'd like to. Cartouche, sure. Another Cartouche. That really sucks. Alright. Well, we need to get rid of something. And I really wanted another land there, but I guess I'm not going to get that lucky. Unfortunately, this thing is going to hit us like a truck this turn, so that surely sucks. Bogles could be a bit of a nightmare matchup. Could really suck, but there's a Slippery Bogle, sure. Sure. Jeez, that's a big boy. Or I guess that's a girl. Whatever. It's a big idiot. My God. Okay, yeah, we're like never beating that. So, we probably don't want Vapor Snag because they aren't very good. Gosh, we might not actually have a whole lot for this matchup. Young Pyromancer seems pretty good, actually. Take out a couple of the Remands. I guess might just have to be like that. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, for all our opponent knows, they might just think that we're on like Temur Merfolk or something. I would like to be on the play. Sand is alright. It doesn't have a creature, which kind of sucks, but we do have like a couple of ops, a couple of Serum Visions we might be able to draw into some things. We can play the Hooting Mandrills, which should be pretty good too. And they went down to 5. Sure. Serum Visions is one of the better ones, so I kind of want to keep it, and then I'll opt. Nope, don't need that one. Bottom, top. And I guess opting doesn't really do anything. I kind of did that out of order, I guess. It's fine. Look, I know what the top card of my library is, and opting doesn't do anything. Did my opponent miss a land drop? Ooh, okay. That I can handle. I don't need another one, but I would like the Dryad. And this, I can cast this. Oh, look, I have a big 4/4. Path it. No. I like the top card of my library. Sure. That one you can have. That one sucks. I guess we'll top it. If it was like another Mutagenic Growth, we would have been able to block whatever she puts on this. It would have been quite the swollen Quirion Dryad. Okay, that one we can't do anything about. Gosh, that's really good. We need to repeal. Slip through space. That's not going to really do it. Although I can just slip through space. Lightning Bolt? I don't think Lightning Bolt's going to do it either. Can I? I can't kill her. Not without a Temur Battle Rage. I could Mutagenic Remand, but that almost might work. I think that's actually the line we have to play. Remand my Mutagenic Growth? That doesn't do it. Because if I just had like Temur Battle Rage, we would have been able to do it. That's only like 10 damage. Dang it. Yep, they got me. Boggle seems like a hard matchup for that deck. Maybe Engineered Explosives in the sideboard would be relevant. I didn't really think about that, especially with the third color now. That might be a bit nicer than whatever we have against them, honestly. Like, I don't even think... Yeah, we don't really have anything against... We don't have, like, Seal of Primordiums or anything like that. This hand would be good if I had a creature. Jeez. Alright, sure. Nope, do not need that one, though. Control might be a tough matchup. Incoming Mana Leak. Then you should let it resolve. Yeah, this card's great. I really love the art on it. I think it just looks so good. Then you should have let it resolve, opponent. How dare you? Likes card. Counterspell immediately. How rude. Ooh! Another one's pretty sweet, though. Sure. Also opting a bunch. Bottom. Slip through space. Sweet. That one's not bad. Hooting Mandrills as a backup is kind of nice, too. Unfortunately, we're just not drawing enough cantrips, which is kind of what the deck wants a bunch of. But it's all good, I guess. Oh, slip through space doesn't give it counters. I didn't realize that. Because it's devoid. I wonder if we want the other one. Snapcaster Opt, I guess. Sure. At least they're starting to hit land drops, but I guess the nice thing here is that they don't have Cryptic up now, because they had to play this as their fourth land. It's good for me, I guess. Detention Sphere? That's not very nice. How dare you? This is kind of where we start to fall apart. We don't really have, like, super good answers here. We're just going to draw a bunch of lands. Yeah, I think we need to get out of the gate much quicker than that, so. We had too many lands. So, against control, we bring in more Dispels, another Mizzium Skin, another Blossoming Defense, because that's just, like, super good. Bolts are really bad. Vapor Snags are really bad. Wow, that was easy. Oh, we probably want Young Pyromancers, too, huh? Take out a couple of the, or take out the Temur Battle Rages, take out a Remand. There we go, let's try that. We kind of want Repeal, just because we want an answer to pretty much anything. They're going to play things like, they probably won't play Rest in Peace against us, it seems kind of lame. But they might play, they played Detention Sphere there. They're going to have Jaces, they're going to have Tefiris, and we want ways to answer them. I could see an argument for, like, Voidslime. I don't know over what, though. Maybe over the Remands. Remands are kind of lackluster in, like, really grindy games. Let's try that. I also just really like Voidslime. This card's very good. Criminally underplayed, I think. I just don't think it just probably just doesn't have a good home in Modern. That's kind of what it comes down to. I would like to play first. This hand... Oh boy. This hand is fine if I draw a second land. And that second land should obviously produce green. We have 3 looks at it, theoretically, I guess. Bottom. Hey, we got there. Oh, cancel. Green, blue. Breeding pool. Yes. Dryad. Thankfully, we also have a Deeproot Champion and a Young Pyromancer to start going completely ham. I kind of like the inclusion of Young Pyromancer in this deck. It's pretty sweet. Just because we cast so many spells as it is, having another kind of creature that does things is pretty good. Search. Sure. Let's opt. Always yield. We want this creature to grow as big as possible. Bottom that. Land? No. Dispel is good, though. I like that. I think I might hold on to that one. I apologize if you can hear a dog barking in my background. Must have been a leaf that flew by the window. Come on, I want to land here. Perfect. Before damage, Mutagenic Growth it. Which doesn't pump it, but other than its like actual pump value or whatever, but that's fine. Field of Ruin my red source? Yeah, that's fine. I'm actually okay with that, just because it gives me an extra blue source. Oust. We're gonna Blossoming Defense. No, really, I insist. Stubborn Denial is pretty good. Should be able to counter whatever they're about to cast. And that Logic Knot ate up all their Search for Azcanta build up too. That's really nice. Snapcaster. Sure. Oust. Sure. Stubborn Denial. They have a path to exile? Okay. Alright, Deeproot Champion. Jace, sure. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do about that one. This might be a quick stream. Quite frustrated on the fact that dog won't be quiet. It's always fun. Plus, it's just... Boggles plus controls, not very great. Another Dispel is good, though. I like that. I think I could repeal Snapcaster Mage. Or do I repeal Search for Escanta, probably? Well, why don't we start with Slip Through Space? Because there is a world in which I kill them this turn. Okay. And I can't really repeal anything. I could just play a Young Pyromancer, which is probably not terrible. It at least is giving me something. No, I'm going to attack you. Because that means if I get through blockers next turn... no. I'm good. Ooh, double Dispel. Okay, sure. They only have one card in hand, though. Now they have, you know, two, I guess, theoretically. The two best cards of the four they've looked at this turn. Yeah, sure. Supreme Verdicts. Well, unfortunately, I can't really do anything about that. I can Serum Visions here. Don't need. Top. Play Deeproot Champion. Opt, sure. Bottom, and then they drew. Okay. So they're flipping Search. At least maybe. Yep, they flip Search. They put a Celestial Colonnade. They don't need more lands, I guess. They're going to look at a bunch more cards this turn. Field of Ruin, sure. That could mess up these scries. That kind of sucks. I'm going to swing, attack you. This is non-land permanent, doesn't it? Oh, no. I just realized that that's not going to work out. Crap. Alright, well, I'm making them fight through their resources here, at least. Unfortunately, this Jace is just sitting here ticking, hitting 0 every turn and just, like, filling whatever's, you know, they need. I feel to ruin my red source, sure. Unfortunately, that sucks. I do not have anything there. And they just, like, shuffled away 2 cards they didn't need. Hooting Mandrills isn't bad. It revealed Terminus, okay. Sure, that's lame. Oh, I should have just attacked. I don't know why I didn't. Yep, hardcast Terminus. Does not matter. Well, that's a red source, but unfortunately it knocks me to 3 and dead to a Celestial Colonnade. And I can't really have that, now can I? Sure. Path to Exile, sure. Yep. I go to 1. And that's not gonna do it. Good games, opponent. Dang. That felt a little bit closer than it should have been, honestly. Control matchup doesn't seem very good for Rug MIracle Gro. I think my sideboard for control is a little much. But like even then I don't know, it just sucks when we just sit there and don't have any threats. Like we need either more ways to protect our threats or just more threats in general. It's too bad there isn't like a land that grows, like a man land that grows up or whatever. We could just play like Treetop Village, I guess. It having trample does a lot. It just isn't the same, honestly. Like Infect has like the Ink Moth Nexus, right? We just don't have something like that. We could play like Mutavault, I guess. Oops. Yeah, this hand is pretty good. Yield through my opponent's first turn. And they could be on control. They could be on, God, any number of decks. Island into Serum Visions is quite the start. That's a really pretty land. Stomping Grounds might be one of the worst lands in this deck. Just like not having access to blue really sucks, and blue is like a lot of our spells. Did my opponent mulligan at all? No, they mulligan to 6. So they might be Storm. Which means I just need to kill them basically as quickly as possible. Don't worry, I'm on Rug Merfolk, I promise. Could be on Rug Shamans. Relevant creature types. Yep, my opponent's on Storm. And they have a Remand up, it looks like. Unfortunately, that just means I need to swing in. You sure you don't want to block? Okay. My opponent not falling for my tricks. Might be able to catch them with their pants down, essentially, with this Stubborn Denial, but it really requires my opponent to have problems. No, we're going to return that to your hand. Do I go shields down? Probably not, right? Like, I really need to start hitting my land drops, but if I let my opponent have time to do anything, then I think I'm screwed. Playing Baral again, sure. Really wanted that to be a land. I guess we just need to start, like, hurting them. Now my Stubborn Denial is just turned on all the way. Manamorphose, sure. Another Metamorphose. That sucks. This could mean death right now. It means nothing, huh? Opt. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, we want the land, though. Well, the Stubborn Denial is probably not going to do any good, unfortunately. So I might as well just Serum Visions. I need to discard a Serum Visions. I guess probably should have discarded like Temur Battle Rage, but that's probably how I'm winning this game. So I need to just like get a creature down before they kill me, which could be right now, unfortunately. I think this is deterministic because they have mana floating. Yeah, this is actually deterministic. Well, I guess if they don't get the right piles, then... But that's not a very good out to play to, I guess. This might be a quick one, chat. We might just be moving on for the night. I apologize. So this very well could be the last match of my league here. They got it. All right, cool. This could very well be the last match of my league here. And I want to say thank you guys for hanging out. I really appreciate it. If you do like all my stuff, or any of my stuff at least, I would really appreciate it if you hit the the follow button here on Twitch. And if you are watching on my YouTube channel, which you can find a link right below the stream, or on youtube.com/Night of St. Traft, you'll find it there. Please hit the subscribe button on YouTube and hit the bell. That way you're notified whenever I upload new things, which is pretty much every day that I stream. I just upload a new thing. I upload the videos of those streams. The other thing I had to plug real quick is I'm also in a podcast now with a couple people from chat. The Grolin, Ashes of an Empire, and Next Door Lolly, the four of us, we have a podcast called The Idiot Brewery. Basically what we do is we play through, or we each come to the table with a sort of new deck idea every week, and we talk about it for about 20 minutes. It's usually just some sort of spicy brew, and we kind of like do random things like that. So, and then we, talk about all these brews, come up with cards for it, etc., etc. We've only had one podcast recording so far, so there really isn't a thing for it, but more details will follow in the sense of, where it's going to be located and all that stuff, and I'll have a link in the description videos of my YouTube videos, as well as the below my stream. There's like the button I have for YouTube. It'll be there too. There'll be a button that links directly to it. So if you guys want to check that out, it will be coming soon. So please be patient while we get that completely set up. Otherwise, I'm going to sit here and not really know how to battle against Storm with this deck, because we just don't have the proper sideboard tools for it. This hand's really good if I draw a second land, so I'm going to keep it. I'm going to not draw my second land, and I'm going to cry, but it's, that's life. My opponent has mulliganed down to 5, though. Sleight of hand, sure. You did it. And I guess the other thing, too, to mention is that, like I said earlier, if you weren't listening or wasn't here, whatever, I will not be streaming next week, at least not for the foreseeable future. Basically, I'm moving into a new place, so we're getting everything set up, you know, the internet, all that stuff, and excuse me. We had to get the internet set up, and I'm getting a streaming office kind of set up, and as well as like a desk and my microphone and all that stuff. So until that gets situated, we're not going to have anything specifically to. I'm not going to have any like anything perfectly set up so that I can stream. So I'm obviously just like can't stream. I'm just going to dispel this. Just like stop you here and now when I can. Sweet. Baby Jesus, we drew a land. Alright, shields down for a turn. Unfortunately. I guess we aren't completely shields down. If they try and bolt our dude, we have a Mutagenic Growth. We have a slip through space for next turn. Sure. Get that sleight of hand going. We can Vapor Snag any creature, I guess, if we really want to as well. We should have a lot of different tools for next turn. A lot of these 1-mana spells. This is the beauty in this deck, is that if we just have like one more creature, I think, like one more 2-drop creature that's like a MIracle Gro type creature, it would just be so awesome. Are you grape-shotting my dude? I'm just going to Mutagenic Growth it. Whatever. Yeah, that means that one of those grape shots comes at me. Or they both went to that. Sure. Slip through space. Draw a good card. Serum Visions, sure. Yeah, neither of those are doing anything too much. We go in for 4. It's not boltable. I don't think we're dead. We might be in the clear here for at least a little bit with this Deeproot Champion. Mutagenic Metamorphose, sure. The nice thing about playing against Storm, at least, is that we are a fast deck, or at least we can be, if we have the right draws. That might be one of the things with this deck. I might have to work on some of the numbers and just, like, make our draws a little bit better. I want, like, one more cantrip. I think Sleight of Hand might be okay. Just, like, having a bunch of cantrips and a bunch of more blue lands. Like, I think cutting the Stomping Ground for, like, a second Steam Vents is actually better. Just because blue is so important to our deck. So, I guess I'm just going to Blossoming Defense now. Just to deal extra damage here. Because now they're taking half of their life total. Which means that next turn this Blossoming Defense will kill them. Dece. And we have a Stubborn Denial for any removal that they play, and then we can just like Vapor Snag Blossoming Defense. Brawl, sure. Desperate Ritual, sure. Stubborn Denial. Of course I'm not going to let you go for it. Come on. What kind of fool do you take me for? So yeah, I think because I hate to break it to you, chat, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to be playing this for too much longer today. Because we only play until we know we're not doing a positive record or whatever. So if we lose one more match, we're done with this deck. Grape Shot. Do you have... No, you have 5 damage. Dog. You have 5 damage. Okay, sweet. Moving on to game 3 on the draw. I actually just kind of like how we boarded. I think having all of the cards that we had were very relevant. The remands are a little lackluster, and I wonder if you just don't want them and maybe want the third Dispel. Like, Dispel has really weird interactions with Storm because it really only counters, like, 1/2 of their spells, and all the ones that you want to counter, other than Gifts Ungiven, are kind of like sorcery speed, which just really sucks. This one I would like to keep, but the problem is just 1 land and it's only Hinterland Harbor. Oh, this hand's worse. This hand I actually reluctantly have to keep. I'm going to bottom that. Hopefully just drawing a creature here soon to get us through this. That's not a creature. And I guess we're going to have to Serum Visions. Okay, no. No, unfortunately. Okay, 18, probably just play one of the dorks. Yep, there's a Brawl. So, okay. Alright. That's not bad. We get to play the Dryad. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm at my opponent's mercy for the turn 3, and I could just die here. So, here's Gifts. Float a red. Have a bunch of mana left over. Oh, boy. If they have one more ritual, then I'm just, like, super dead. They just need, like, if they have a Manamorphose or a ritual in hand, I'm just super... Oh, no, they get a Manamorphose off of this, right? Does that kill me? If I put both these, they can just Manamorphose. They have 4. They play Past in Flames with 1 left over. They ritual, yeah. I think I'm dead. Just got like turn 3'd. I'll let my opponent walk through it. We haven't really done much this. We always kind of just like randomly concede a Storm, but we're gonna let them do their thing here. Grape Shot Remand. Do they have it? Or do they just have another Grape Shot? Empty the Warrens. Okay. If that's all they've got, then I'm not dead. They could have just killed me there. I'm surprised that they didn't. Oh. Yeah, now I'm dead. Okay. They got me. Good games, opponent. That was quick. Unfortunately, that was a quick 0-3. We did a little bit better than that on last Wednesday, so if you want to go back and watch that stream, you can. this is going to be the end of this stream, and I apologize. It just kind of sucks that like we, got screwed over here. Let me go ahead and drop from this league real quick. Or there it is. Nope, cancel. Can I go back? Can I not? Oh, geez. Maybe I can't. I'm going to kind of do a wrap up here. Sure. So, I actually really like this deck. It's something that I had been working on for a little bit, and I really like the way that it kind of plays. I like the whole playing creatures and then just kind of growing because I'm playing all these spells. I was very worried about just like not having enough of the sort of gain hexproof cards. So like we have 3 to Blossoming Defense plus the 4th on the board, 3 Mizzium Skins. We have a lot of Dispels and stuff, and like I don't know if it's really necessary to have that. I wonder if, and so what I think I'm going to do for next week, just to clarify for both myself and other people watching, is I'm going to add an extra cantrip. I think I'm going to add like Sleight of Hand maybe over some of these, like maybe over a Blossoming Defense and the Vapor Snags. I'd like Vapor Snag is just so medium. And now that we have Lightning Bolt, it just like doesn't matter to have those. Remand is kind of lackluster, and I'd probably cut a Hooting Mandrills and the Repeal. Basically, the Repeal and the Vapor Snags were just sort of, I guess, not homage, that's not really the correct word, but they were basically there because we didn't really have the things we wanted with red, because we didn't have red last time. It was just blue-green. And so I wonder if I should just maybe start cutting some of that random stuff that's in here. I want more cantrips. I think I might actually want just a couple of the Mana Gorger Hydras. They're 3 mana, which does suck, but they at least are helping do the MIracle Gro thing we're trying to do. So we're going to try and do that. I think I'm going to cut some of the Mizzium Skins, probably all the Mizzium Skins from the sideboard, maybe cut a Dispel, cut these Void Slimes, because they're just like, or maybe at least 2 of them, just because they just don't do anything. We don't bring them in enough times. I think we want a couple of Engineered Explosives in the sideboard. Granted, that doesn't necessarily work too well in the sense of like budget options, but this deck was fairly budget actually beforehand, but Engineered Explosives triggers Deeproot Champion, it triggers Mana Gorger Hydra. It doesn't trigger the Dryad, which sucks, but at the same time, it's just a really good catch-all removal type spell, or like board wipe when you need it. And since we now have access to 3 colors, it's very relevant. So I think that's what we're going to end up going with. I also think I'm going to fix up the mana base a little bit. This Stomping Ground should be a Steam Vents. This Copperline Gorge should probably be a Spirebluff Canal. And then the Rootbound Crag should be a Sulphur Falls. We have so many blue cards, and like green, despite green being the creatures, like in the sort of the main thing, it's actually kind of I guess red is the very splash, right? But green is a less important color versus blue. Like blue has all of your cantrips, all of your counter spells, all that stuff, and you really want that stuff. I think there's another spell that gives things unblockable that is a rebound. What is that called? It's not Slip Through Space, it's the other one. I can't think what the name of it is off the top of my head, but I know that it gives like +1/+0 and unblockable, and then it has rebound. It doesn't draw a card like Slip Through Space does, but it'll be actually blue, so it'll trigger the Dryad, and it having rebound really works with the MIracle Gro style of deck too, so I really like that. So we're going to make a couple changes to this and run it back next week, but I really like this. I think this deck is sweet. I definitely think this deck actually has some ground, so we're definitely going to keep this moving forward as far as 0 to Dece, along with Hedron Shift currently. So we're going to go ahead and start this. This is sort of week 1. I kind of max out the 0 to Dece stuff at week 6 or 7-ish, depending on how I kind of feel with the deck. after that time. Hedron Shift has currently had 3 weeks, but we've also kind of changed a lot from the first week, so I might add a couple weeks just because we made so many different changes, like very drastic deck changes, basically, and I want to make sure that it gets enough time to get to a point where the list is okay, and then we can tweak it from there, versus just being like changed a bunch and then not actually getting any ground because we haven't had time to refine it, essentially. And that's kind of what we're trying to do, is basically find a sweet list, make sure it's okay, and then refine it. So this is going to be the end of my stream for today. Couple of things to talk about. My name is Knight of St. Traft. I stream here every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday evenings, usually around about 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock Central Standard Time. In the coming future, I should be streaming a little bit more frequently, which is awesome. And if there's a new schedule up or a better schedule, then I will be posting that on the Twitch channel as well as my YouTube channel. As of right now, there really isn't much. It's just streaming those days. But this weekend, I'm moving into a new place, getting an actual streaming setup, all that stuff. And so this upcoming week, at least for this foreseeable future, the Sunday through Wednesday week or whatever, I will not be streaming. If you want to, you can follow me on Twitter at KNO St. Traft, or at Knight of St. Traft, basically, just abbreviated a little. And I will tweet out and let people know if I am streaming or not streaming. And if you are following me on Twitch, you'll get the notification with that as well. So please follow me on Twitch and help me get my name out there, help me stream a little bit more frequently, etc. And then there's also a link below my Twitch stream to my YouTube channel, or you could just go to youtube.com/Knight of St. Traft. You'll find me there. All of my videos are archived there, so you can go back and watch all of them, minus one stream, but we don't talk about that one. And you can go back there and watch it, and I'd really appreciate it if you went to YouTube and subscribed to my YouTube channel as well. That'd be awesome. Outside of that, I also am now currently doing a podcast with a few people from chat. The Grolin, Ashes of an Empire, and Nextdoor Lolly, the three of us plus, or the four of us total, we do a podcast called Idiot Brewery, where every week we bring a new brew to the table, and each one of us gets to talk about the brew that we brought for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then the others kind of, offer ideas or talk about it and see if it's kind of sweet or whatever. And then we each do that, and then we do some other side stuff or whatever, and that's kind of the main premise of it. We've really only recorded one episode, so we aren't officially out there perfectly yet, and we don't really know where it's going to be, so information for that will follow soon. There should be, when we get that information figured out, there will be a link to it below my Twitch stream, as well as on my YouTube channel and all that stuff. And once a week, probably on Sunday, because we record the podcast on Saturday. On Sunday, I'll do a stream where I stream the 4 decks that we brew up for that week and see kind of where they lie and what they end up feeling like and doing and all that stuff. So that'll be pretty awesome. But outside of that, my name is Knight of St. Traft. I'm going to sign off for the night. It's getting a little late, and my dogs are barking really loudly. So I will see you guys all tomorrow.